السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
اللهم رب هذه الدعوات التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة العالية وبعد مقام محمود الذي وعدته إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله وخليله. عباد الله، أوصيكم بتقوى الله وطاعته وكثرة مخافته ولزوم أوامره، فإن التقوى شعار المؤمنين ودثار المتقين ووصية الله تعالى في وفيكم أجمعين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كلام الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة في الدين ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Brothers and sisters in Islam, first we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept the Hajj from those brothers and sisters who are in obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and applying that duty. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for those people who are planning, inshallah, to go in the future. The Hajj is, today we are in the day of the Arafah, that it's one of those days for the Muslim attached to one of the pillars of the Islam. And if you look at the structure of this deen, we mentioned this many times, it's not really random. This religion, it is well balanced so that any part, even through the ibadat, to have that groupness, to have that link together, even in the location from the distance, they are away from each other. That's why in the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, hadith sahih, that the fasting of the day of the Arafah is wiping out 2 years of the minor sins of 2 years of the past and the future. So the wisdom behind this is the Muslim will be attached to this ibadah. And the fasting is that ibadah, the type of the ibadah, is always, it will give you that continuity with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you always remember you are fasting. Why I am fasting? Because of the Arafah. What is Arafah? Arafah is attached to the Hajj. So you always, as if you are exist with those brothers and sisters over there in the area of the Arafat, and now the time is night there, they are in Muzdalifah. But that link always to have that company with them is give you a better part of that connection with each other. And the Hajj as one of the pillar, it has a wisdom behind it, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need us that to go and make the trip to go there and then just have doing certain things, doing the tawaf around the Kaaba, and also wearing only 2 pieces of towels, then go to the Arafat, to an empty area, and come down, stone some piece of concrete there, and come down to make the tawaf and halq or qasr. And these are the items that you see them, practice them, has no any benefit from visually that you see. And from the outside of this deen also, people are accusing the Muslims that they are Muslims, they're supposed to be against the idols and not worship idols, but the concept of the Hajj is bringing back that concept. That's accusation from them that people are going to the Kaaba and surrounding that as if the same pattern of the Jahiliyyah that people are doing. And this is mixing between the things because people do not have, they know the history that the Kaaba was exist, and the same many of those pillars of the Hajj were exist in the past. But the way the version of that time is completely different from the version that the Muslims are doing. Every part of the making any pillar of the Hajj are according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked for. And from the time that وَأَذِّن فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ يَأْتُوكَ, make a call for the people to come to the Hajj. The people who are going to that pillar, what they say from the first time? لبيك لبيك اللهم ما لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك. So from the announcement that you say, here I am, somebody calling someone will respond to say, here, yes I am, to say yes to the answer to the call. But here is a statement. Is really the statement is a declaration of uniqueness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة. So every item of that, it's really confirming that you are make a declaration again, confirming that I'm not going to worship idol. I'm not going to worship a house. I'm not going to worship anything beside Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and make sure there is only one. That's one. The second part is people are mixing between Baytullah al-Haram and Al-Kaaba. Al-Kaaba is a 3-dimension building. Has the length, the width, and the height. Baytullah al-Haram is a spot. It's only two dimension. It's only the length and the width. Has no the third one. The Kaaba is a sign that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked Ibrahim to be built on the foundation of that area, so that the house to be built. In fact, I was giving a khatir a few nights ago about the Hijr Ismail. Have you seen the Kaaba? There is a circle, a half circle after the Kaaba. There is a circle, a small circle. Now, due to the coffee, they made a big one. But if you look at the old picture, there is a small circle in the other side, not from the side of the Hajar al-Aswad, the black stone, to the other side. That's called Hijr Ismail. That's part of the Kaaba. Prophet ﷺ said to Aisha that the people, when they built the Quraysh, they run out of resource, of the materials to extend that the Kaaba to be also cover that area. They didn't cover it, but it's part of the Kaaba. But Prophet ﷺ did not want to destroy it and then rebuild it. But he pointed out that's Hijr Ismail, where Ismail was putting his sheep in that area. But that's a spot which is part of the Kaaba. And this is the amazing part, the wisdom behind this. So we are not worshipping the house, some concrete blocks. So it's really the spot. So that to negate that, the Muslims are bringing back to worship the idols. The other part is the Hajj is why people, they have to collect money and then to spend time and effort and resource to go to visit that area. So number one is the matter of they having that annual conference throughout the Muslims, throughout the world. And every nation to send their representative to go there and be part of that meeting all together. It's worth it. This is the path of life. This is not the path that, like a career of the job, you take it for surviving and put a food on the table. This is the path of the life. So it will make amazing taste that to have a representative from every group and every nation, to have people over there and feel that uniqueness and to be part of each other. Always I say, imagine if we do not have Jum'ah. If we do not have Jum'ah, these people, we are meeting each other, the first khutbah and the second khutbah. What will be the chance that you see weekly a person, your brother here in this masjid or the other masajid, the chance that without the Jum'ah that you see that person even once a month? Wallahi, will be 1 to 5%. Because there is no any bond. If there is no career, if there is no familyhood, relation, you have to have set an appointment 3-4 days before to say, can I meet you there? And then something maybe come up. But no, because with the call of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع. There is no appointment. You put it on your calendar, you schedule it, that's it. And you come here, the benefit you will get, you'll see your brother here. And you will ask him, how are you? How is he doing? And for you from the same. So that bond will be created from benefit of the ibadah that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribed. It's the same really for the Hajj. You have that bond together that you see other people throughout the world. People will learn from each other. So many people, if you read the history of especially African American Muslim, Malcolm X, when he was here, or Muhammad Ali Clay, when they were here, they had the different version of Islam. But when they went to the Hajj, they look at the Hajj and the real version is different. That's where they meet exactly how other people are doing the ibadah, how they do worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be updated. You fix the areas that you are lacking or you are doing it wrong to make sure. Or at least you will ask how that could be there. Well, they are right or I am right. You will have certain ways of the verification that the path you are following to make sure it is right. The other part is regarding the part of the equality. Now, the day of the Arafah, which was in the daytime, in that area, people are required to wear the ihram. The ihram is those two pieces of towels that people are wearing. And the principle of the against the arrogancy, it's really built in Islam. It is part of the religion, it's part of the concept and principle. But doesn't matter if people just see it in the books and you do not apply it in the real life, it has no meaning. Really has no meaning. You could write anything, like in the early of 1900, people, so communists comes and put all of those nice words into the paper. Everybody has to be the same. Everybody has to the same resource. Yes, but in reality, it doesn't work. So it did not even last enough to show to the humanity. Now it became completely opposite. They became the most tyrant nations on the earth. That people in the beginning of 1990, then they became rebellious against them. They collapsed the entire thing. So the matter of the Islam, that part of when it's claiming that equality, has to prove it. And the main proof is in the ibadah. So that from the ibadah, and the ibadah is daily, annually, monthly, whatever the type of the ibadah comes, to show that this is the way in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, people are equal. This is the first line of the prayer. If you come first, if you'll be, it doesn't matter, is a child, is a man, is a jobless, has a job, handicapped, doesn't matter. When he felt the first line, there is no way that even the king will come after that to say, okay, can you move? I'm the king, I want to be in the first line. That there is no such a thing. He could stay there and no one will argue. So that, and it comes to the Hajj, is the same when you apply that principles of the ihram, and you're wearing only those two pieces of towels, and people are going among each other, you don't know who's that person is. He's a president or he's a normal person. Everybody is busy to make the dua and claim to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the forgiveness. That's where in the Hajjat al-Wida' Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam announced among the people, كلكم من آدم وآدم من تراب. Every soul is from Adam. Every soul, it goes back to one person who is Adam. And Adam is from the soil. So that you know your root, where is it? Is really the part that you are putting your feet on it. That's where I don't know if it's applicable terminology to say, we could say, is your grandfather is this that you are walking on. But that's where our root is. ألا لا فضل لعربي على عجمي ولا لعجمي على عربي ولا لأبيض على أسود ولا لأسود على أبيض إلا بالتقوى. There is no preference of black on the white on the black, and non-Arab on the Arab on the non-Arab. There is no such a thing, إلا بالتقوى, except to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What taqwa is not measured by the position, by the post, by the wealth, by none of those. It's between you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You might be in the highest position, but when you pray, you do not remember a letter that what you have said during the prayer. And the person may be illiterate. When he does the prayer, you look at him, and he knows that, and he knows what he's saying from the beginning till the end. His prayer will be 100% recorded. Your prayer will be maybe 2%. Won't make any difference with the position that you have. In fact, it will be on contrary side, that if you have more knowledge and you have more power, you don't apply it, you will be more responsible in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because you did not utilize that knowledge that Allah gave it to you. And then you didn't use it. And imagine this, that you have full education, but you don't know what are the pillars of the Islam. Or you don't know what are the pillars of the prayers that you do. And you never spend enough time to understand the path that you are taking it. And you utilize the knowledge that Allah gave it to you in a wrong way. Or at least you ignore it, you do not give a priority. As this deen is just given to some malaz and sheikhs, and then, okay, it's their business, they have to deal with it. What do you expect? I mean, I remember one of the writers, I think he's from Jordan. He says sometimes people, the educated, everybody, that we push people, our kids, to go to be a doctor and to be engineers. We push them, that's the highest to go. But we do not pay attention to the other administration colleges. Whoever has very low grade, they go to those. But the problem is, those when they graduate, those are the ones they lead the ummah. Those are the ones they will be in front of the everything. And then we say, okay, people are oppressing us because we gave them the key. I mean, this is a mistake of all of us, starting from myself. But that's the reality, that we always look at different ways of life, but we put the important things in aside. I'll finish it in the second khutbah, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. من عمل صالحا فلنفسه ومن أساء فعليها وما ربك بظلام للعبيد. توجه إلى الله بالدعاء. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. Brothers and sisters in Islam, so imagine that the pillars of the Hajj also, how the pillars of prayers are different, is not the same. Like if you prayer, imagine the prayer just will be stand and do not have the ruku' and the i'tidal and the sujood, 2 sujdas, and all of those movements, it will make difference, because first it will wake up the person that from a movement to another movement, because sometimes we stand here and our mind will go somewhere and we focus on that, mind is somewhere else. Without the movement, it won't break the pattern. But when you pray and those movements there, it should help you to that you'll be disconnected with your mind to be somewhere else, that you are part of this prayer. So the Hajj is the same. The time that you get to the Hajj, that you wear the ihram. Ihram, the main pillars, that you wear those clothes. Then the second, that al-wuquf bi-Arafah, that standing at, you go to that area. I'm talking about the Arkan al-Hajj here. So in that place, so look at the movement. From there, you go there, and then the whole day, you are just walking around in that empty area. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness. At night, everybody comes back to camp in Muzdalifah. So everything's are changing. Now, the salat also qasr wal jam'ah. You come down to Muzdalifah, you do the staying overnight, one night there. But before the day of the Arafah, you go to Mina. The camp at Mina, and then from Mina that you go to Arafah. You see, the stations are different. Then when you come back, the day of the Muzdalifah, which is the day after the day of tomorrow, which will be the Eid, Yawm al-Nahr, then they come down to Rami al-Jamarat. Now the Rami al-Jamarat is stoning the devil. Stoning the devil. You see, any ibadah that you do, there are certain times that is individual, that between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for example in Arafat, that you make the dua. When it comes to the stoning, that you have a certain areas, certain spots that assign, these are the signs of the devil, not the real devil. This is a sign of the devil. You confirm your declaration again that you are against. This is the main enemy of human being. This is the one which is declining the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and forcing the people, or trying to force the people also to decline from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you show that I am against this. These are the sign of that. So a group all together, we are all together declaring this is our main enemy. We are not enemy of each other. We love each other. So that's where bringing that brothers and sisterhood among each other and focus on one major enemy of the humanity. After that, the same day, which is the day of the Nahr, that you do also cut your hair, that the small ihram that you could break there, and the power of the hair, that you cut the hair or shave it. The shave is better than just, so is to show that what you are doing is that showing the humbleness. And then you come to Tawaf al-Ifadah. When you do Tawaf al-Ifadah, imagine now previous years, 2.5 to 3 million people. It is really like it's ocean flow. It comes around this house, and all together just the asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness. And then you go to the Safa wal Marwa, as-sa'i bayna Safa wal Marwa. All those pillars are built inside this pillar, so that the brothers and the sisters who are practicing it take back the news to the others, and encourage the others also to visit that place. And so that bond will continue to remember that path that you have to go. If you have gone and your wife didn't go, it's time really to encourage her that to go. Not you have done it to be just jealous and you have done it for yourself, forget about it. Really, it's time, if you did not go together, to encourage her that to go also. Make a plan also to go to fulfill that pillar. Wallahi. And I swear by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the first time that you see the Kaaba, the tears, unless you have is like a stone heart. If you do not have a stone heart, you will get tears out of your eyes. And you will never forget those tears that comes down from your eyes. You will never forget them. Always will be there. For every ibadah, whenever you see the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we are built, this is, as I said, it's a path of life. It is not a place to go and, okay, I put in my checklist, I need to go to that area for vacation, that area for that, and that for that. But Hajj is all the way in the down. It's not in that list. This is part of the ibadah and the rukn that you're supposed to do it. You see, you have seen the last 2 years. This year was partial. You never know if COVID, another version will come and will collapse it another 2-3 years. So it's really plan for that as soon as you can, so that to fulfill what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it mandatory on all of us. Brothers and sisters in Islam, living for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes with the work. It comes with the effort. Every ibadah we do, and we try to apply to ourselves or to our children, to the community, really comes with the effort. And the effort is either time or money or all, is really has all together. It's not that you sit in a place or sit at home and you do not have to spend money or time or resource. No, you can't. Deen is not free. Deen comes with a cost. إِنَّا سَنُلْقِي عَلَيْكَ قَوْلًا ثَقِيلًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to his prophet that we are revealing on you a heavy load. This is a heavy load. إِنَّا عَرَضْنَا الْأَمَانَةَ عَلَى السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَالْجِبَالِ فَأَبَيْنَ يَحْمِلْنَهَا وَحَمَلَهَا الْإِنسَانِ إِنَّهُ كَانَ ظَلُومًا جَهُولًا. Human being decided to carry this load. Therefore, we have to really spend enough time with it to make sure that we will get to that part which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as a minimum at least, He asked us to do in our life. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive all of us, inshallah. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help and support those that planning to go to the Hajj and make it easy for them, inshallah. Wa sallu wa sallim ala nabiyikum مثالا لقوله تبارك وتعالى إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم أصلح لنا ديننا الذي هو عصمة أمرنا وأصلح لنا دنيانا التي فيها معاشنا وأصلح لنا آخرتنا التي إليها معادنا واجعل الحياة زيادة لنا في كل خير واجعل الموت راحة لنا من كل شر اللهم اغفر لنا ولوالدينا ولمن له حق علينا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم وفقنا ووفق أولادنا لما تحبه وترضاه اللهم وفقنا ووفق أولادنا لما تحبه وترضاه اللهم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك وطاعتك اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من أن نشرك بك شيئا نعلمه ونستغفرك لما لا نعلمه اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من الكفر والفقر ونعوذ بك من عذاب القبر يا رب العالمين اللهم لا تدع لنا في مقامنا هذا وفي يومنا هذا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا ضالا إلا هديته ولا مريضا إلا شفيته ولا دينا إلا قضيته ولا مريضا إلا شفيته ولا ميتا إلا غفرته ولا حاجة هي لك رضا ولنا فيها صلاحا إلا قضيتها يا أرحم الراحمين عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون قوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم الله وأقيموا الصلاة
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله.
لا إله إلا الله. استووا تراسوا واعتدوا يرحمكم الله. صوت صفوفهم بين التصويت الصفوف من إقامة الصلاة. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. لا يستوي أصحاب النار وأصحاب الجنة أصحاب الجنة هم الفائزون. لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.